Can you truly say it is well when all hope is lost? That is the question we ponder today. A query as old as humanity itself. In those moments when despair is vast and when all hope is lost, what we choose to speak into existence holds power. The words we utter when we stand on the precipice of despair, staring into the abyss, shape the framework of our reality. Indeed, what does it mean to say it is well when all hope is lost? Is it to deny our reality? To put on a brave face, though our hearts quail within us? Or could it be perhaps an act of defiant hope? A stand we take against the overwhelming tide of despair. A beacon we light to guide our hearts back to the shores of faith. We draw wisdom from an old hymn written by a man deeply acquainted with the sting of life's calamities. Horatio Spafford, a successful lawyer and devoted family man, penned the words of "It is well with my soul" after a series of devastating blows that would have shattered a lesser man. Yet, his song was not one of despair, but a hymn of peace and surrender. But how could he sing "It is well" while standing in the shadows of his 4 lost daughters, their lives claimed by the ruthless waves of the Atlantic? How could he utter those words, looking back on the ashes of his fortune, swallowed by the Great Chicago Fire? He could because he knew a profound truth, one that we all must come to terms with. That is the role of pain in our lives. Consider the story of Job, a faithful servant of God, experienced unthinkable loss and despair. His wealth, his family, his health, all stripped away. Yet, Job, amidst his desolation, declared, "The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." You see, Job understood a profound truth. The essence of his faith and hope was not rooted in his earthly circumstances, not in his current experiences of good or ill, but in the steadfast love of God, in the divine wisdom that transcends human understanding. How can a man, having lost everything, still say, "It is well with my soul"? Herein lies the philosophical premise we wrestle with. Could it be that Job saw something beyond his pain? Could it be that Job understood the transcendent nature of hope? Not a hope attached to transient material things, but a hope tethered to an eternal promise. A hope anchored not in what was seen, but in what was unseen. We all have had our Job moments, haven't we? Moments where despair looms large and hope seems a distant mirage. But I encourage you today to reflect upon Job's response. His faith did not waver because his faith was not in the fallible, but in the infallible. Not in the shifting sands of time, but in the solid rock of ages. This is the essence of hope. This is the audacity to say, "It is well," even when circumstances would convince us otherwise. Take a moment now, pause, and ask yourself, where is my hope rooted? In the transitory comforts of this world, or in the enduring love of God? The Apostle Paul, a man well acquainted with hardships and persecution, painted a vivid picture of the power of hope in the face of despair. He penned the words, "We are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair, persecuted, but not abandoned, struck down, but not destroyed." This wasn't a claim that life was without pain, without turmoil. No, he recognized the hardships, he felt the pressure, he knew the sting of persecution. Yet, he also understood that these things, while real, while painful, were not the end of the story. He knew that in the face of despair, he could still declare, "It is well." This declaration does not belittle our pain, nor does it deny the reality of our struggles. Instead, it speaks to a deeper truth, a greater reality that lies beyond the scope of human understanding. It touches the divine essence of hope, the profound understanding that in the midst of the storm, in the middle of the raging sea, there is a divine presence, a divine plan, a divine purpose. Brothers and sisters, let me submit to you that true hope is not circumstantial. It is foundational. It is a trust in God's sovereign plan, even when the path is shrouded in darkness. To say "it is well" does not deny the reality of suffering or pain. Instead, it is an affirmation of faith that transcends our understanding. A belief that God, who sees our trials, also sees our triumphs. That our struggles are but a prelude to our victories. In the book of Psalms, David writes, "You keep track of all my sorrows. You have collected all my tears in your bottle. You have recorded each one in your book. We are never unseen, never forgotten, never abandoned. Each tear we shed, each sorrow we bear, each trial we endure serves a purpose, even though we may not see it in the moment." We all have encountered the whys of life. Why me? Why this pain? Why this loss? It is in these moments that we must cling even tighter to hope. For hope, my friends, is a powerful defiance of despair. Hope declares, even here, even now, even in this pain, I will trust. I will believe. I will say, it is well with my soul. We too stand in the whirlwind of our own personal storms, our hearts echoing the same question. Can we truly say, it is well when all hope is lost? Can you, like Job, trust in the unfathomable wisdom of God? Can you, like Paul, stand firm amidst the storm? Not because it is easy, but because it is worth it. And so, I ask you, dear friends, to look within, peer into the depths of your soul, and proclaim with all your might, through it all, it is well with my soul. Let it be our beacon in the darkness, our refuge amidst the storm, our melody in the silence. Let it resonate within us until it becomes our breath, our heartbeat, our very essence. Through it all, may it indeed be well with our souls. And as we hold on to this truth, let it illuminate our path, guide our steps, and ultimately lead us home.